Great morning, friends. Jason DeSantis, hashtag Cincy Car Coach. You can see all my videos on YouTube at Jason DeSantis. Emotional bank accounts. Have you ever heard that term before? Emotional bank accounts. I think this is a very valuable concept to keep in mind. This is something that I learned. I'm sure he didn't invent it, but this is a boss of mine. At an old job I had, sales job, learned a lot from this guy. His name was Steve Miranda. If anybody knowing him or he himself ever sees this, I'd like to give him a shout out. Steve was the man, and I'm sure he still is. Anyhow, Steve had a lot of sayings, a lot of sales-ish or motivational type sayings. And as a crew, as employees of his, we used to lovingly call them Steveisms. That being said, emotional bank accounts was a Steveism. And what it relates to is your relationship with those around you. This can be something personal, right? It can be your husband, wife, spouse. It can be your child. It can be a friend. It could be a business partner. And it could be a customer. Anyone who you have any sort of relationship with, you have an emotional bank account between you and them that only you and them have access to. Okay? Stick with me on this. Let's say you meet someone for the first time at a grocery store, and they happen to be maybe a neighbor of yours. For the first time you interact with them, and you beat them to the door. You notice them coming. You open the door and you say, "Hey, good morning." To allow them to walk through and say, "I noticed we're neighbors. Great to finally meet you. That's a nice shirt you're wearing today." "Oh, great, thank you." Okay? You have just opened up an emotional bank account between you and that individual, and you have made the first investment. All right? You did something for them. You open up the door. It's a small investment, but it's an investment nonetheless. It's human nature to remember that stuff and to keep track of it. All right? Now, same thing occurs, and maybe it's not even your fault. You don't notice them, right? Let's say you scurry in front of them and get to the door first, or cut them and cut in line in front of them. Your first access to the emotional bank account in that case would be a withdrawal, and there was no money in it, nothing in the account. It had no balance. So making a withdrawal puts you in the negative, which is a bad thing to do, right? It puts you in bad graces of a bank, and it puts you in bad graces of a person. Now, let's speak of a different scenario. A parent or a brother or a sister. You're an adult. You've obviously had a lifetime of transactions with this individual. Whose balance is higher? Yours or theirs? Right? If you have a higher balance than they do, it's a lot easier for them, by human nature, to allow you a large withdrawal, right? So let's say you have this relationship and you come upon hard times. You need help. You need to crash on their couch. You need to borrow their car. You need to borrow a lot of money. If your emotional bank account with them is substantially higher of a balance than theirs with you, they almost feel obligated to be there for you, to help you. Obviously, if the relationship is close enough, the assumption is they want to be there for you because they love you. But aside from the love, this emotional bank account will either assist or hinder their willingness to express that love in that way. I don't know if I'm over-explaining this, but I just find it so powerful. So that being said, being in sales, I've been in sales most of my adult life. I started out, oddly enough, in engineering. It didn't last too long. I didn't enjoy it too much. But I got into sales real quick after college. And most of my sales career has been in business-to-business sales, which requires what they call networking, right? You got to get to know people around town. This is when this became really evident to me, because I learned quickly in networking, it's almost a race to see who can do the favor for someone else first, so they quote-unquote sort of owe you, right? I meet a new business owner at an event, Chamber of Commerce event, something to that effect. And my initial intention is to find something I can do for them, find them a new customer, right? That sort of thing. So I don't want to get too long-winded, but my point is this: keep in mind, whether you're keeping track of it or not, people are keeping track of their emotional bank accounts with you, and depending on your balance will determine their willingness to help you with things down the road. Keep that in mind and make it a great day.